Welcome back to the Demon Slayer Game Channel. We're going to be continuing our Final Fantasy XIV Dungeon Guide series today. We're going to be taking a look at the first trial dungeon in the Endwalker expansion, the Dark Inside. Now this will contain quite a large Endwalker spoiler, so if you're not prepared for that, please come back later. But we'll go ahead and jump into this. If it helps you out in any way, please make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and let's go ahead and get started. Start this off when Zodiark uses Kokitos. This will damage the entire party and drop them down to 1 HP, so you will need to do significant AoE healing after this, especially on the tank. Tanks should pop any sort of healing cooldowns that they have to also heal after this. He will follow this up with Exotericus, which will summon a portal on one side of the platform. The first one that he summons will have a triangle in the middle of it, which tells you the sort of AoE that it will unleash out of it. So you'll want to position yourself towards the front right or back right of the platform to avoid this AoE. He'll follow this up with Ania, which is going to be his tank buster ability. The next time he casts Exotericos, it will be on the opposite side of the platform, and it will have the opposite sign of the previous one. It should be the square this time, which will cover half of the platform with an AoE. Paradigma will summon 2 adds onto the platform. The first time this is cast, it will be 2 behemoths that will do a large circular AoE around themselves once they activate. So you'll want to move to the front right or the back left of the platform to avoid this. The next time he casts Paradigma, he will summon 2 pythons onto the platform that will do line AoEs across it. They'll be in the second quadrant and the fourth quadrant of the platform, so you'll want to move either towards the middle or right in front of the boss to avoid these. He will then summon multiple circular AoEs onto the platform while casting Styx, which will be his group up AoE that you'll need to group up to split the damage. This strikes multiple times, so you'll want to stay grouped up after the initial strike until it finishes casting. Paradigma will summon the 2 adds again. This time the 2 behemoths will be in the back of the platform, and he'll cast Exosteris. And depending on if it is a square or a triangular AoE, you'll need to position yourself either in the front right or the front left of the platform to avoid it. After this, he will take full control over Zodiark and alternate his abilities.
At last, I am become Zodiac.
This time when he casts Paradigma, he'll summon the 2 adds onto the platform, but then the platform will begin to rotate when he casts Astral Flow. So you'll want to check the positioning of the rotation and then move into an area that when it rotates, you'll then be in a safe area. So for us, with the 2 behemoths being on the front left and the back right of the platform, we stood in the AoE so that when it rotated, we would no longer be inside of it. Adikia will do a AoE on the left and right side of the platform, so you'll either need to move towards the front in front of the boss or the very back to avoid this. He'll then summon 3 sets of circular AoEs on the platform and begin casting triple esoteric ray. You'll want to move either to the middle or the left and right, depending on which one spawns first. And then after those explode, you'll move on to the other side. Afterwards, he'll cast Algaden, which will move to one side of the platform and do a AoE across the entire middle of the platform. If you are hit by this, you will be knocked off the platform and instantly killed. Pegglethon again will summon the additional adds depending on which ones you'll get. You'll want to position yourself so that when it rotates, you are not inside of the AoEs. So this time we had the pythons that were in the back of the platform, so when it rotated they were on these sides and we were able to avoid it. Astral Eclipse will cause him to fly away, and you'll need to look at the shape of these stars in the sky to avoid the AoEs that come shortly afterwards. There will be 3 of them, and they will happen in the order that they are summoned. These do extreme damage, so you'll want to make sure that you're avoiding these as much as possible. And then group up for his Styx ability. He'll then cast Cocytus again, causing you to have to full heal the entire team, followed up by another Pegglethon. This time we got the behemoths on one side, so we were able to move towards the front of the platform, and when it rotated, the behemoths were in the back. This is completely random, so you'll have to be checking which adds that you're getting and then which way the platform is rotating for you and where the adds are actually located. So there is a lot to actually be watching here. The next time he casts Exotericus, he'll combine it with Adikia, so we have the square AoE here, which covers half of the platform, along with his large circular AoEs. Then he'll cast Tripomorphous Exotericus, so you'll have 3 of the portal AoEs that you'll need to avoid. We got the double triangle along with a square. The next time he casts Exotericus, he'll combine it with the triple esoteric ray. So you'll need to either move out of the square-shaped AoE or the triangular-shaped AoE while also standing in whichever line was summoned second for the rays, and then moving into the other one once it explodes. He follows this up with the Tank Buster ability. And then Trimorphous Exotericus. This time we had 2 squares and a triangle, so we were able to position ourselves in the front right of the platform to avoid all 3 of them. He does follow this up with the circular AoE, so if you are limited on space, this will be a little hard to avoid, followed by his group up AoE. And the Algedion, which will knock people off if they are hit by this, so you'll want to move towards the front of the platform, either left or right, depending on which side he flies to. From here, his abilities should just repeat. And this should be it for the Dark Inside. I hope this helped everyone out, and if it did, please make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel. It really does help me out, and make sure that you don't miss any of our Endwalker content. So I will catch y'all in the next one.